Well, greetings everyone. Lenon here. I want to greet you with lots of love, peace, and positivity. I hope you're doing well. And I want to start this video by saying that blessings can come in many forms. We only need to be wise enough to recognize them. Wisdom is key. And the truth of the matter is that you have many wonderful things in your life to be thankful for. You really do. Even though some things may not necessarily be the way that you would like, you have plenty of things to be thankful for. One of the things that I remind myself of every single day is that I'm breathing. Okay? I mean, just to be able to breathe is a blessing in and of itself, because there are some people who are not breathing right now. And so to be able to take a breath right now we should be appreciative of that, okay? And I mean, just to really put things in perspective, I mean, there are a lot of things that I would like to be different in my life, but I also have to recognize that I am alive right now. And to be alive, I must be appreciative of the fact that I'm alive. I think part of being alive is to be appreciative of the life that you have, the breath that you're able to take. Right here, right now. So I try to remind myself of that truth because it sets a tone, okay? It sets a tone for appreciation. It also sets a tone in terms of how you can use the life that you have right now to not only benefit others, but also benefit yourself. Blessings come in many forms, including the breath that you take. We only need to be wise enough to recognize them. Now, when's the last time we recognized the breath, that breath itself is a blessing, okay? They come in many, many forms. If you've been following my work for, let's say, over the last 4 years, I've talked a lot about some of the things that I wanted to change for my family. Okay, I've done a lot of work, internal work, in terms of what I need to change within myself, but then I've also more recently been thinking about, okay, what do I need to change for my family so that my family can be more comfortable, they can be safer, they can be happier. Like, I'm always thinking about those things. Matter of fact, I'm just going to tell you, inside my household, the manner in which I deal with my wife, I'm very playful. Very playful, and I say things, and sometimes I say things, I have to be honest with you, sometimes I say things that I would not want anyone else to hear, okay, because they're so outlandish and it makes her laugh, but sometimes, you know, it kind of teeters on the verge of like being almost inappropriate, and she laughs and I laugh, and I do that because I want to hear her laugh, and sometimes I may stand in a funny way, or I may start to dance or whatever, and I wouldn't necessarily want people seeing me standing that way or dancing in that way, okay. But I do it because I want my wife to be happy. I want her to smile. I want her to laugh. That in and of itself is a gift to her. It's a blessing unto her, you see? So I'm always thinking about what can I do? What can I do for my wife? What can I do for my children? In particular, like my oldest son is 13 now. So I want to make sure that he has everything that he needs in order to grow now as he's going through puberty, so he can have the best pubescent experience that he can have. Okay, I know that sounds strange, but as his father, I think about those types of things. I remember when I was his age, I didn't have that in my life in terms of a father who was really concerned about me in those ways. So as I think about the types of things that I've committed myself to doing in order to try to provide better for my family, so they can have more peace and more comfort, I just think back, and one of the things, if we go back about 2 years ago, I was really doing a lot of videos on, I talked a lot about during that time, was this idea of creating space and clearing space. That's what it was. I wanted to clear space. And the reason why is because our house is fairly small, and we have 5 children in here, and then we took on a dog. So we have 5 children plus an adult, 2 adults, that's 7, and then we got a dog running around here too. And there's times we bump up against each other inside this house. Okay, the hallway is about this big, so we bump up. Well, maybe a little bit bigger this way, but this way it's let's go through the hallway. It's real. So we bump up against each other, and people are running through the house, and sometimes you're trying to slide by and get. So I thought about clearing space because we weren't in a position to move, but I thought to myself, okay, what can I do to be of service to my family? And what I thought about was clearing space. In other words, I started to really throw stuff out that we didn't need and rearrange furniture and move stuff around, not just on the inside of the house, but also on the outside of the house, if you guys remember. In fact, starting a garden was about clearing space. In fact, to start that garden, I had to clear out a whole lot of stuff just to start, that was overgrowth in the yard, just to start that garden. The idea was that I was clearing space. And I did this for, a year. I think it was about a year. And I did videos on it where I was talking about what I've been clearing. And the more I cleared space, the lighter things felt, and the more creative energy began to flow. And I felt good, and the family felt, and you can tell. Whereas before we had a little bit too much clutter. We had to clear things out, clearing space, clearing space, clearing space. Okay. Blessings come in many forms. We only need to be wise enough to recognize them. So even though we weren't in the home that we wanted to be in terms of size, and actually in the neighborhood that we want to be in terms of the types of things that happen in the neighborhood, that didn't mean that we weren't blessed, because we still, at least we had a home. So what did I do as an act of creativity was I began to clear space. And the more space I cleared, the more positive things began to be here inside the home and outside the home. Number two, making things more comfortable for my family was also important. So not only getting rid of things, but also to make things more comfortable. And I really start to think about, okay, what can I do inside the home to make it more comfortable? Okay, to where people can relax and kind of like sit back and enjoy. And you know, like how things are like right now is like what I envisioned. You know, and organically it's kind of unfolded. We put the large couches, we had gotten couches and that was fine, but we put the couches outside because I did that 3 days ago, because we're going to be moving to Utah and we don't plan on taking the couches with us. So I just want to clear more space in the living room, and you'd be amazed. I just put some blankets down in there, and then we have the tea table. We've been doing tea time again because those couches aren't in there. We have more space in there, and the children, they come in there and lay down on those, and we put through pillows down there. They just lay down and relax. And there's been a couple of times I plopped myself down there and I just laid down and took a little quick nap. Okay. So I wanted to make things more comfortable, and it's interesting that as we've gotten rid of a lot of the larger items inside of our home, it's actually gotten more comfortable, and we're going to transfer that comfortability to the new home. See, blessings come in many forms. We only need to be wise enough to recognize them. A couple of years ago, too, one of the things that I wanted to do was to upgrade our transportation situation, because we had a car, it was a Ford Taurus, a sedan, and we couldn't fit everyone inside the car legally. So I was really worried about that. Like, okay, I want to be able to go places, and we need to be able to be safe and comfortable at the same time. And this was something that I focused on, and it ended up happening, and now we have an SUV. See, blessings come in many forms. We only need to be wise enough to recognize them. And see, sometimes when those blessings come, we don't even acknowledge them. I need to talk about this in another video, like success in and of itself and not acknowledging success. It's success when, you know, your family feels more comfortable and safer inside of your home. That's success. Do you honor that? Do you respect that success? Do you celebrate that success? I'm going to talk about that too. That's another topic. We're going to get into that too. But blessings come in many forms. We only need to be wise enough to recognize them. The transportation and upgrading the transportation, oh, it has been such a huge blessing. It has been we spent some more time driving out, just going places. You know, 2 weeks ago, we just drove up and down the street like we live on this main highway. We went all the way down that way, There was a yard that had like about, I kid you not, about 25 goats in there. And we just parked over there and just looked at the goats out the car for a while. Children love that. Okay. So upgrading the transportation, I didn't know how it was going to happen, but it ended up happening. Blessings come in many forms. We only need to be wise enough to recognize them. And then, of course, needing to move to a better neighborhood, that was one of the things that I really thought about and I was really worried about for a long time. Like, how are we going to make this happen? And y'all know, like with the big move, like we had some challenges. Now, people, we did a crowdfunding campaign, and people from all over the world contributed to the crowdfunding campaign, but there were also other, and that was a serious blessing, my goodness, okay? Awesome, awesome blessing. But then my wife and I, we've been living off the grid for the most part. And so it was hard paperwork-wise in order to put ourselves in a position to get into a new place, in a bigger home, in a better neighborhood. So that was a serious challenge. But you know what? Everything worked out in the end. We have a beautiful home waiting for us. We'll be moving in July. And it's a beautiful home. I mean, I can't express to you how beautiful it is, and how, you know, the space that's there. You know, and it's in a peaceful neighborhood. Also, it's close to nature. A lot of mountains and mountain trails and all that kind of stuff. I'm looking forward to that. Y'all gonna be seeing. So see, part of what I'm doing too inside of these videos, like how I'm, you know, kind of presenting myself this way, is I'm getting myself ready. Because once we get this move done, I'm going to be doing more stuff like this. You know, but the difference is I'll have everything set up already. I don't have to, like, right now. I kid you not. I had to take our bed mattress and our bed frame thing and turn them, flip them, and put them up against the wall just so I can have enough room to be able to do this video. And even still, I don't have much room. You see, I'm trying to walk a little bit this way, a little bit this way, but I got to work with what I have. Okay, this is a blessing. We're thankful for this. Even while I'm talking, I'm over here. You hear this? Okay, this wooden floor, there's carpet here, but under here the wood creaks. So what? I'm going to do this video anyway. Okay, blessings come in many forms. We only have to be wise enough to recognize them and be appreciative enough too. I'm thankful that I'm even able to do this video. The point is this. Moving to Utah, I thought that, okay, I'm going to start doing this. And I've been wanting to do these types of things for a long time, but I'm going to start now as an act of appreciation and as an act of acknowledgement as to the blessings that we have. We only need to recognize them. So instead of waiting until we get to Utah, it's going to be so much easier for me to be able to do these types of videos. Why not go ahead and start now? Just do it. Take action. Be proactive, like right here, right now. Again, blessings come in many forms. We only need to be wise enough to recognize them. It doesn't matter where you're at right now. You can still do something that is going to be positive. It's going to uplift yourself and also uplift the lives of those around you and those who benefit from what it is that you do. You see, blessings come in many forms. We only need to be wise enough to recognize them. So we will be moving to Utah, and how that all worked out, it is a serious blessing. And we are so very, very thankful. And you know, one last thing I just want to share with you all is that I have a sense, because I've already been thinking about this, that once we are settled in and we get moved, that there's going to be some wonderful opportunities for us to do more creative things to help people. And I already have some wonderful ideas lined up. And those ideas are going to help a lot of people. And I see it as a blessing. As things have transformed themselves here for us, and we're so thankful. We are so appreciative. It opens up new avenues of creativity for us to where we can help people more. See, blessings come in many forms. We only need to be wise enough to recognize them. My name is Lenon Honor. I want to send you lots of love, peace, and positivity. I'll talk with y'all soon. Take care. Peace.